Hello, everybody. Uh, yeah, as you can tell, we're doing a what if. Don't ask about the absence. I was doing a whole nother channel that didn't work out. So we're back. uh, I'll probably lose a lot of people because, well, I haven't checked my account, but I'm probably below 2,000 by now. So let's try and get back to 2,000, obviously. So, this is What If Naruto had Isshiki's Dojutsu, Part 1. And, if this gets 450 views in the first 3 days, then we will make a Part 2. If not, I still might. Okay. So, let's do this. One day, when it was a calm night in the village, it was almost tranquil. They were having a perfect day. As everyone rushed off to sleep, that's when, boom, they hear a loud echoing throughout the village. As everyone comes out to check, tired and drowsy, they notice the 9-tailed fox demon, as one of the shinobi shout, as everyone starts to run away. As in the faint distance, one of the shinobis spot a light shining on something. They can't see it, but they know it's shining on something. Over in Minato's point of view, as he's fighting the masked man, he sees Kushina arrive at the battlefield. Even though she had just had a tailed beast, nonetheless the strongest one ripped out of her forcefully and gave birth in the same 10 minutes. As she held her child, as Minato quickly notices this and jumps over his enemy and gives a Rasengan to his back, as the man quickly warps away. And Minato then runs over to Kushina and tries to heal her with a little healing knowledge he knows, but he can't do anything. His wife is far too exhausted. After getting a tailed beast ripped out and being pregnant and giving birth, he can already tell that she won't make it through the night. So he starts to give his last goodbyes to his wife. And that's when Kushina smacks him and says, "You really don't have confidence in me, Minato. How like you. Come on, we gotta give some words to our son. He'll have to carry this burden of the 9th-tailed fox." As she almost falls unconscious as Minato catches her, as she says, "Come on, let's seal him." As, well, she kind of delirious right now, so she ignored the him things. So as she uses her few Uzumaki chains to tighten her grip on the 9 tails, Minato begins ready to seal it with his Shinigami. But that's when Kushina pushes him out of the way, right as the sword goes straight through the soul. As Kushina's soul is ripped out of her, as the 9-tailed fox is sealed into yet another child. As Minato shouts for Kushina, he didn't want this for his wife. He wanted her to have a peaceful spot in heaven. But it seems to him nothing goes this way. As he looks at his son and picks him up, and looks into his son's eyes, noticing two particular things. One eye looks blind almost. He doesn't stop to consider it, considering his wife just died, and then looks to the right eye to see a strange yellow pattern. As he says, "Is that the Byakugan?" As he looks back at the nearly blinded eye, as Naruto smiles somewhat, considering that Naruto didn't know, but he liked the name. He liked the name. As Naruto then began to cry, as he wanted his mom, but he would never get that feeling ever again. As Minato then walks over to his wife's corpse and says, "Kushina, I will protect this village and our son for however long I have to. Please, don't let your sacrifice go in vain," as he walks away from the battlefield and the completely torn to shred forest. As now, his son, Naruto Namikaze, Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tailed Fox, owner of the Byakugan, and I'll give a somewhat name to Isshiki's Dojutsu. I'll call it the Shinsogan. You know, Shinso from My Hero. It just sounded nice in the moment. So, its abilities, from what I know, are pretty similar to the Rinnegan, except a lot better. Obviously, he will have the almighty rods that can, as you saw in Boruto, hopefully, absolutely destroy people. He can make them appear at any size and then immediately shrink or enlarge them immediately. He can shrink himself down to an atom. His chakra will still be seeable, of course, by one of the Sharingan or the Rinnegan. He's not completely immune to those. But with his Byakugan, it makes his visual prowess and his physical prowess much more. His potential with two Dojutsu is much better with the Shinsogan and the Byakugan. So, 3 years later, as Naruto runs through the halls, being chased by one of his caretakers, as he had defaced the man with a prank, as he was running through the Hokage Tower, as he runs into his father, as Minato says, "Watch where you're going, Naruto," as he quickly sidesteps Naruto, as Naruto says, "Okay, Dad," as he keeps running, as the guard gets a little angered by this and runs a little faster. And during this time, Naruto had exceptional stamina from what Minato had seen, but no special cases. He knew he had two possible dojutsu. He knew he at least had the Byakugan in his left eye. But he also noticed that a horn started to grow out of Naruto's top right skull. Don't worry, guys. I'm not making him Isshiki. I just want, similar facial features to make him look nicer. But it will be a human horn, not the Otsutsuki, because he's not Jigen or Isshiki himself. They're merely similar. But it will be much closer to Kaguya's instead of his one very long horn. It will be a long horn instead to the right instead of up front. Okay. And, yeah, that's... Anyway, onto the academy, which would be 2 years later, because Minato wanted to test the waters for his son, see if he could learn and make friends with people and still be a competent ninja. If he lasted till the age of 8, he would take him out of the academy and train him a little, and then put him back for another 4 term. But what he hadn't expected is for Naruto not to just be an exceptional student, but a very, very particular one. It seemed his smarts were far surpassing himself, even as that young of an age, as he became a genin at the age of 6. Of course, his friends didn't become genin because they weren't strong enough, simply. Sakura didn't have enough knowledge or power to get through the exam. She could only make 1 clone. No one else could even make a clone yet. Sasuke could make 3, but you need 5 to pass. Naruto was able to manipulate his chakra well enough to make 5, just barely. His chakra control was much better because Minato, in that short time span, had taught him how to control his chakra, because he knew if he needed to, he would need this for the academy, because he knew how much chakra his son had with the QB inside of him and his 2 Dojutsu. Also, the Shinsogan people definitely gives you a lot of chakra, similar to the likes of the Rinnegan. Not Nagato's, but more so like Madara's, a natural Rinnegan's chakra. So, obviously, he had a crap ton. And Kurama, this whole time, was waiting for the boy. He wanted to meet him, see what he would be like to the standards. If Kurama sought interest in him, he would maybe even set him under the possible legend he heard from his father, that one day a boy, a mere child, would reunite all 9-tailed beasts within himself and take this world into a greater dawn. Peace. True peace. Not a lie, not a fallacy. Just peace. No fights, no wars, no kings, no queens. Just people doing their jobs in perfect harmony. And Kurama had noticed that this boy definitely had the power to do it. So, as we take another certain time skip, Naruto had jumped, and it only took him 1 year to get strong enough for the Chunin exams, as his instructor, Hatake Kakashi, who was instructed to specifically train Naruto, even though he was still fairly young, having only just started to consider leaving the Anbu, was instructed to train Naruto. And he trained his sensei's son like hell. He got so strong, in fact, he could even make a good enough spar for Kakashi. Kakashi called him strong for his age, far stronger than he was at that age. He said Naruto could give a low jonin a run for his money. Naruto, at this point, had learned how to completely use his Byakugan. From a few of Kakashi's connections, he learned how to do the trigram and the ultimate defense of the Hyuga, along with the air palm. But not their signature taijutsu stance, the gentle fist, for the simple fact that his other dojutsu was stronger. Kakashi said he could give a low jonin a run for his money for the fact that that singular dojutsu seemed to pester anybody who didn't know how it worked. Kakashi knew how it worked perfectly, but people just fighting Naruto wouldn't know how to fight him. He could probably even take down somebody like Kakashi if he really knew how to sneak up. As Kakashi and Naruto spar for the last time before the Chunin exams, as Kakashi enters with his lightning blade charged at him, as Naruto just simply lodges a massive rod through Kakashi's hand and then makes multiple of them, as Kakashi falls to the ground quickly and jumps back up and says, that ability again, as Naruto ensnares his entire body with them quickly, as Kakashi bleeds ferociously, as he tries to get up, as Naruto says, Right. I forgot to tell you, Kakashi. I've been holding back with this dojutsu. It's, from what I discovered yesterday, far stronger than I anticipated. If I infuse a tiny bit of my fox's chakra into it, it becomes a force to be reckoned with. I could probably kill you right now if I wanted to, but I don't, Sensei. But just remember this. I could have. Don't think you could have done something with genjutsu, because I could have simply placed a metal rod right on that eye patch, and the second you lifted it up, your eye, gone. I have you beat here, Sensei. Admit defeat, or else. As Kakashi laughs and says, you've definitely grown stronger, Naruto, as he gets up. As the next day, Naruto was gone for an entire month and a half. As when he gets back, he's noticeably stronger. And he's wearing Konoha's signature Chunin vest. As Naruto smiles at him and says, weird. I'm only 7, and yet I'm a Chunin. And I beat you yesterday, and I beat you last time we fought, Sensei. As Kakashi laughs and says, Right. Just don't go spreading that, Naruto. I don't want people thinking I'm weak. As Naruto says, I'm simply a prodigy among prodigies. A once-in-a-generation talent. As he walks away into the sunset. And says, don't think this is dramatic. It's just a coincidence. As Kakashi says, right. Well, I guess we start preparing you to become a Jonin. Well, let's go on a mission. How about a C rank? I'm in a mood for an easier mission. As Naruto says, sure. As they go to the Hokage's office. And Minato gives them their mission. And a drunk bridge builder walks through the door and says, are these the people that are going to escort me? As Kakashi says, yes, we are. As Tazuna just walks out of the door. And Minato says, you are to escort him to Wave Country. Simply wait for him to finish his bridge and protect him. From what we know, at most you'll fight some bandits. If you need any help, don't be afraid to call. Goodbye, Naruto. See you probably next week as Naruto and Kakashi walk out of the door. And that, peoples, is where I'll be leaving it off. I thought I did pretty good. If you want a part 2 in the comments, say it, and give me a warm welcome. It's almost Christmas. That could be something. Yeah. Well, goodbye. This is Cryptic signing off. Goodbye.